Political boxing ring we certainly could not take our eyes off of tonight.
A face-off that is really a crucial push for the vote for these top 5 Republican contenders.
We have team coverage of the debate for you tonight with every angle covered, beginning with Channel 2 anchor Keith Garvin with the highlights. Keith?
Bill, Dominique, with the stakes so high, we are expecting intense back and forth between the candidates tonight, and that is exactly what we got. The debate hit on a wide range of topics with 3 of the candidates dominating the airtime. The GOP debate at U of H, a high-stakes evening for that party's 5 remaining presidential candidates. Many were expecting fireworks, and they were not to be disappointed. Immigration was the first topic out of the gates.
The wall is $10 billion to $12 billion if I do it. If these guys do it, it'll end up costing $200 billion.
What was clear was that frontrunner Donald Trump was going to be the target of the other candidates, hoping to slow down his momentum before Super Tuesday.
When I was leading the fight against the Gang of 8 amnesty bill, where was Donald? He was firing Dennis Rodman on Celebrity Apprentice.
The guy that inherited $200 million. If he hadn't inherited $200 million, you know where Donald Trump would be right now? Selling watches in Manhattan.
Other topics discussed Thursday night: religious liberty, Supreme Court nominations, and Obamacare. All conversations dominated by Trump, Cruz, and Rubio, with John Kasich and Ben Carson struggling to be heard.
I'm not going to point to these gentlemen. Of course, they're part of the problem, other than Ben, in all fairness. And actually the governor, too. Let's just talk about these two, okay?
Yeah, something else we saw tonight was that the candidates were intensely focused on each other. We did not hear the names of the Democratic contenders, Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders, brought up that much. In fact, we did not hear Hillary Clinton's name brought up until about 90 minutes into the debate. Reporting live from the spin room here on the University of Houston campus, Keith Garvin, KPRC Channel 2 News.
Thank you, Keith. Our team coverage continues now with Channel 2's Phil Archer.
Phil joins us live with some political insight into tonight's debate. Phil.
Yeah, we're just over here across the street from the Opera House in the Spin Center. You watched that debate tonight. You saw that it was a very spirited debate, perhaps the most energetic so far. Where we are is essentially right behind the CNN news set. And what we're waiting for here, traditionally, some of the candidates at least will be coming over here to talk with reporters, sit on the set there as well, but to come over here to the railing and talk with us. We know that Senator Rubio will not be coming, but former Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal will be here speaking for him, and we have also been told Senator Cruz will be here. We're going to be standing by waiting to see who else comes to talk about tonight's debate. We'll have everything they say for you. Reporting live in the Spin Center, I'm Phil Archer, KPRC Channel 2 News.
Other big moments taking social media by storm include the start of the debate with a sweeping show of support for former President George H.W. Bush.
George Herbert Walker Bush and former First Lady Barbara Bush.
The applause continues for several more seconds as Mr. and Mrs. Bush smile and wave to the crowd. And another talked about moment, but for completely different reasons, Ted Cruz with his hand tucked into his jacket during the national anthem. Some people on social media finding it disrespectful.
Now, while some moments of the debate sparked attention on social media, others sparked contention. Crowds protested the debate for hours today, their calls lasting well into the night. Channel 2's Jennifer Bauer joining us live now with this angle of the debate. Jen?
You know, the last of the protesters left here just a few minutes ago. Some of them had been out here for 6 hours. Hundreds of people gathered on this street corner on the campus of the University of Houston, protesting the candidates who debated tonight. Majority of this group specifically targeted Donald Trump, their signs, even their costumes. This voter says the political issue he cares about most is immigration, and Trump's plan terrifies him.
I'm sending a message to Trump and to whoever supports Trump or anyone who's Republican.
The Republicans right now do not understand what America needs.
I'm here because the Republican Party is a party of hate.
Karen Aylor has only lived in Texas for 3 years, a conservative state where many voters are expected to back Senator Ted Cruz on Tuesday. She's hoping this protest will change their minds.
I'm a proud Democrat, and I'm hoping that more Texans will see the light and become Democrat.
Now, tonight's protest was large and it was loud, but for the most part, it was very peaceful. No arrests, at least not that we saw here at this corner of Cullen and Elgin. We are live on the University of Houston campus tonight. I'm Jennifer Bauer, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Thank you, Jennifer. On the flip side of those protests, a big turnout at watch parties across the city, with Houstonians gathering to hear each candidate's take on serious issues. This watch party featured hundreds of people at Rebels Honky Tonk on Washington Ave here in Houston.